Hey Bagmaker, I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Hey everyone, happy Sunday and welcome to Sewcial Sunday. Thanks so much for joining me for the show today. I wanted to wish Cindy a very happy birthday. I saw in the comments Cindy got a new Yorkie puppy, so congratulations. I just love our puppy. We got him this past February, and he is always one for making sure that I'm on top of my game. He doesn't let me sit in my chair for more than an hour or so, and then he's like a little bark. All right, what's the next activity, Mom? What are we doing now? So again, happy birthday, and I hope you had a wonderful day, Cindy. I see Kathy's watching from Louisiana, Deb from Maryland, and hey to Clovis. I also saw a lot of people in the comments mention they're watching from Canada, Australia. So welcome everyone to the show tonight. Danny will be joining me on set in just a second. I also wanted to remind that we will not have a live show on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So our next show after today will be January 7th. So I hope you have a wonderful holiday break. I have been wearing my snow pants here in the Chicago area very regularly. We take Mikey outside a bunch for walks to play Frisbee. He does still enjoy playing Frisbee in the snow, but he has a harder time picking up the Frisbee. It's not like an instant pick up every time, but I've been wearing my snow pants and getting bundled up, and unfortunately the kids have outgrown their previous winter jackets and we haven't gotten them new ones yet, so they're out there cold and I'm bundled up in my snow pants and my heavy winter jacket. Hello, Danny.
Hello.
As you can see, Danny and I are sort of matchy-matchy with our sweaters tonight. Danny got all of us, the kids included, Disney sweaters.
Sorry.
So I've got Minnie Mouse. He's got Donald Duck over there. The sweaters are a little interesting
They're
fit.
baggy-ish.
The sleeves are kind of wide, but I kind of like
Throw it in a warm
mine.
wash or something.
The
You could
fabric
slide
is
over a little, would you say?
the fabric is really comfortable.
There you go. So your head's not in the logo.
There we go. So for tonight, I thought we would do a little fun Q&A. So I've prepared a few sewing related questions that I'll be asking, and if you have your keyboard or cell phone or tablet handy, if you would like to answer some of these, Danny's going to put a few of the answers up on the screen. We're not going to put every answer up on the screen, but just a few of them just a few, sharing a few of your answers through this Q&A. And again, these are all, for the most part, sewing related questions. So my first question, which was sparked by a few of the comments earlier before the show actually started, either what sewing machine do you have or what is your favorite sewing machine? I realize some people have multiple machines and others might just have one sewing machine. So let me know in the comments what is your either sewing machine or your favorite sewing machine. Mine would have to be my first, my very first sewing machine was a Brother, I think it was an HE 240, I think was the model number. I think I recall purchasing it on eBay. I think it was around $120. It was great for bag making, but my first geared for bag making sewing machine was the Juki TL 2010Q, which I still use to this day. I really love it so much for bag making quilt blocks on it. Really, also everything on that machine. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, Rob had an interesting comment. Someone's mentioning about bags, and he said, the Big Street bag is a great bag because you can have a hobby sewing machine and not have
I saw that
issues
comment
with it.
too, yeah. And you could put a few of these up on the screen too, whichever strikes your fancy for the favorite sewing machines. I see a lot of Jukis, some Kenmores, Baby Locks. Jean has a Baby Lock for her sewing machine. Gloria, Juki, two Jukis, and Tess has a Singer. So there's sort of a gamut for different models for sewing machines. And I think it's important to have a certain comfort level with your machine. My first brother's sewing machine, I think it was a bit of a lemon. I had difficulty with stitches sometimes. I'm not speaking bad about the brand. I think it was just an inconvenient type of machine, but definitely comfort level with sewing machines is super important. So my next question is, what is your favorite sewing memory? So my first favorite sewing memory for me personally is with my mom. She taught me and one of my friends to sew when we were in grade school, and we made a couple little projects. And I think I didn't come back to sewing for a lot of years. So just because I learned to sew in grade school doesn't mean I've been sewing continuously throughout my life. But I'm really glad that I did eventually come back to sewing. Actually, it was after I met Danny. I don't know if you remember my little assembly line. I thought I would be super smart and make bags and sell them online, and I just thought, I'll just assembly line make them, and what could be easier? Like, everyone's going to be lining up to buy these bags. I actually, I actually never finished them. I think my notion of my skills at that time was a little bit loftier than what was the actual reality. Michelle said, my mom teaching me how to make pillowcases. I was in my 50s. And Kathy said, making clothes in high school and junior high. So I think I haven't sewn garments in a really long time, but I think I am really grateful for having that skill also, as far as not only sewing garments, but I have some basic knowledge about like fitting. I think skills like those I'm really glad to have learned, and also don't come easy necessarily. Just like with bag making, like a lot of skills don't necessarily come easy to me either. But I think the more projects that I make, I just feel, looking back over my sewing history, I just feel really grateful and happy that I tried out a lot of different things. The garment sewing, sewing quilts, machine quilting quilts. Like, I've tried a lot of different things, and most all of them have been really fun and educational, and just grateful to be able to pick up skills like this. Dawn said, sewing my first Sew Sweetness bag, the Baker Street bag. Oh, thank you so much, Dawn. The Baker Street bag is a good one, especially if you're sort of newish to bag making. It's a free pattern and a free video, and it also incorporates, that particular bag incorporates a zipper. So if you haven't sewn with zippers yet, it's a good skill to add to your repertoire. Stacy said, my grandmother making my dresses and going to the fabric store with her to pick out my next dress. That's an awesome memory too, Stacy. My next question is, when sewing, are you a perfectionist? Are you a planner? A procrastinator, perhaps a slow stitcher? How would you identify yourself as a sewist? So in the early days of sewing, when my kids were little, I would say I was kind of like I don't know if a frantic sewist is the correct word, but I'd be just almost like gobbling up projects to sew, try to sew a different project every day. And I try to, even if I was working on a quilt, I would try to continue sewing throughout the day until I finished. Like, I just was sort of speeding to the finish line. And I would say nowadays I'm more of a procrastinator. Once I get started, I'm fine, but I have all these excuses in my head about why I'm having such a challenge of getting started with a sewing project. I'm not sure where that has come from in the last few years, but that is definitely me now. Carla says, perfectionist who has to learn to accept the not so perfect sew. And then Kathy said she's a procrastinator, definitely not perfectionist, although I would like to be. I'm not a perfectionist either. I'm more of a
get her done.
Get her done, or like the goal for me is sort of like the journey of sewing the project. And of course, I'm happy to have a finished project, but it's sort of more about the journey for me. Next question, best thing that you ever sewed. Maybe it was the hardest project that you ever came across, maybe something that came out the best.
I like Sunny's comment.
Cindy said perfectionist, after procrastinating, then panicking. That's a good one. I like
I
that
can
one
relate
too.
to that one.
Yeah, I like that one. So for me, the best thing that I ever sewed, that's a really tough one. I would say one of the most challenging patterns I ever wrote maybe was I pulled this one out before the show, the triple threat. It had the three, it's sort of hard to come up on screen, it had the three different zippered compartments, and like figuring this portion out over here with the three zippers was challenging for me. I really enjoy a challenging aspect to a project. I'm working on a few things right now where actually this particular pattern, the first iteration didn't come out quite right. It was kind of difficult to sew, and I thought, well, if it's difficult for me to sew, I probably need to rework it. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I made some adjustments, and I'm going to sew it again. And normally that really makes me mad when I finish a project and I'm like, oh, this is not going to work. You have to start all over. But I had some ideas for fixing it. Yes, I'll be sewing it for a second time, but I definitely will be well worth it in the end. Simone says a velvet jumper I made for my birthday. That sounds like a really fun project, especially the velvet. I've worked with velvet fabric a couple times, and just tactily how it feels just feels so wonderful. Cheryl says best project, my daughter's wedding gown. That's an awesome.
It's got to be stressful too, make sure she's
Probably.
happy. Then she's got to, I hear those bridezillas, like on the TV shows.
My next question is, what is a bucket list project that you have? So bucket list meaning perhaps something that you have on your list that you'd like to tackle someday, but you haven't yet. I want to say for the past almost 10 years now, I've had a cathedral window quilt on my bucket list, and I'm not sure why I haven't actually gotten to it yet, but it is still on my list, and I was trying to think if there was anything else. That has to definitely be number one. Marilee says, I am much a spontaneous sewer. That sounds actually kind of nice. I kind of like the idea of spontaneous sewing, just I guess whatever strikes your fancy that morning. Sue says, cutting into a raw silk vintage tea dress to use the fabric for small clutch bags for bridesmaids. That sounds, I'm assuming that was your best thing you ever sewed. That also sounds a little bit stressful since it was a vintage, assuming irreplaceable type of thing. Diana says, Journey to Nebula quilt. I actually do have that pattern, and I think I might maybe in 2023 make that project as well. Michelle says a tattoo quilt. That sounds really interesting. I'm not sure if you're referring to the paper pieced tattoo quilt, maybe a different quilt. Winless Original says a quilted jacket for me and my dog. I super love that. Twinsies. I really love that idea. All right, so I have another question for you. What do you think, in your opinion, is the most important skill for bag making? Maybe is it sewing accurate seams? For me, I was thinking zippers, just because so many of our bag making projects feature zippers. So I thought that's probably a good, important area in the terms of bag making. But let me know in the comments what you think as far as the most important skill. Let's see, Danny's going to put, I think
Takes a little bit of time.
Yeah. I'll go to the next question, and then we'll maybe read some of the comments. Jessie says, I want to learn English paper piecing. I really love English paper piecing. I haven't picked up my in-progress English paper piecing in a while, but maybe over the holiday break, maybe I can get a little bit more of that done on my English paper piecing. I've mostly been doing cross-stitch in the evening before bed, but might be nice to change it up a little bit with some English paper piecing. Neat top stitching. Yes, I definitely think that's a great skill for bag making. Another bag making skill from Anita, smooth curves. That's a good one too. And then Rob says cutting out accurately. So hard to fix in sewing if you aren't starting with careful cutting. I totally agree with that. I was actually reworking a pattern that I'm working on, and I had to recut a couple pieces, and when I recut them and fused the interfacing, I was just kind of comparing my paper pattern pieces to the fabric that I cut out, and I was like, wow, these pieces are These fabric pieces are a little bit bigger than the pattern pieces, and I was kind of a little bit of ashamed of myself, but I took my paper and traced it back off and recut my pieces a little bit smaller, so definitely that tip for the accuracy is super important. Diane also says for important skills, zippers. And then Casey says learning to measure correctly and quarter inch. Yes, definitely the seam allowances, accuracy on those. Patience is the most important skill, always takes longer than I think. And I have that problem also as well. I think I could be finished with this in about 6 hours, and of course it turns into several days. So my accuracy, as far as timing goes, is definitely off. Dawn said zippers and correct interfacing and material to represent the structure of the bag, definitely. My next question is, what is one sewing skill you wish you possessed? Either something that you have yet to learn or something that you wish you were a little bit better at. Let me know in the comments. Me personally, I have a cover stitch machine, and while it has been a while since I sewed some garments, I always struggled with that particular machine, especially going over seams. I couldn't get the stitches to be nice and uniform, so if I had one skill, while this is not a bag making related skill, I wish I was a little bit more proficient with my cover stitch machine. Val says, question, Danny and Sarah, do you think there is a difference between being crafty and being creative? What do you think?
I think it's the same thing, personally.
They're very similar.
I think work hand in hand.
I think people might be able to have creative thoughts, but not necessarily be crafty, like just maybe have ideas for things. I don't know. That's a really good question. If you have an idea about Val's question, you're welcome to answer that in the comments as well. Perhaps Danny could put a few of those up on the screen. As far as sewing skills on our wish list, Cindy says bindings, especially around corners. Joanne says the ability to clean up as I go along would be the best skill, and that is a skill that I need, and Danny can attest to that. I feel like I go throughout life not cleaning up after myself, not only in the sewing room, but in the kitchen, when I do laundry, and it sometimes can turn into a little bit of a nightmare because I feel like it keeps me from doing things if I need to walk into a room and there's a mess already before I've even gotten started. So definitely for that. Maribel says perfecting seamless hems.
A lot of people on curves. And
Karen said accurate curves and binding. Jessie says sometimes the execution of said craft is the challenge. Interesting. That's a very interesting comment too. Connie says craftiness and creativity are different to me.
I thought it was like applying towards like being crafty as far as using something else to make that work, and that's also being creative in the sewing. Not
I
like,
see.
That's my viewpoint how it's going together.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. That makes sense. All right, I have 2 more questions. Second to last question is, what is your favorite type of fabric to sew with? Let me know in the comments. Me personally, I know we have so many options as bag makers, but my favorite type is still quilting cotton. Jean said, creative is to design, crafty is to put together. I like that. I like that
Makes
definition. I think the reason I like using quilting cotton for my projects is there's just a gigantic, almost unlimited array of options as far as quilting cotton designs. And every year there's new designs coming out, so there's always a steady stream of new things to pick up as far as quilting cotton, so that's definitely my favorite. Rhonda said batiks.
Kathy said waterproof canvas has been my favorite lately. Jill says quilted cotton. Maribel says cork. Linda wants 100% cotton. Wendy's going for flannel.
Oh, interesting. Let's see. Wendy says by far more of vinyl for bag projects. So a surprising array of different options for your bag projects. And my last question is, What are your other hobbies besides sewing? So let me know in the comments. I feel like I like almost everything sewing related or handwork related. Like I mentioned the cross stitch earlier. I like spending time with my family, our dog. He signed up for another session of obedience classes in a couple weeks, so I'm really excited about doing that. The kids have been wanting to do agility with our dog. We haven't done that
Is it
before.
obedience or trick training?
Obedience, yep.
Oh, I thought it was something different.
And then I enjoy spending time with my horse, riding my horse. Funny story from today about my horse. Actually, it wasn't funny earlier. I was almost in tears, but my horse had a couple days of stall rest per the vet. And when I took her out, she's always really, I don't know if hyper is the correct word, but today I was just briefly exercising her, riding her, and two little girls, they were really cute, short, tiny little girls. They were each riding their ponies bareback, so that means without a saddle. And I don't know what was up with those two ponies. Maybe my horse has not seen someone ride bareback before. That could be possibly the case, but she just freaked out. Every time one of those ponies came near her, she just had a really, she wasn't quite bucking, but I felt like we were going to be getting there really soon. So I came home almost in tears. Now I can laugh about it, but this morning it was like, what am I even doing here? Like, what's going on? Have I made a huge mistake? But obviously by the end of the day I can laugh about it. But yeah, those are my other hobbies besides sewing. Danny's going to put a few of your comments up on the screen for your other hobbies as well. Erica mentioned knitting, but there's a lot of knitting and crocheters out there. Cheryl said cooking, baking, and eating what I make. Carrie says making jewelry is as good as sewing for me. Very interesting. Yvonne said cricket and rhinestone. Shirring possibly. Jenny said crocheting, cross-stitching, and knitting. So lots of fun hobbies out there. Brenda mentioned puzzles. I do enjoy a good puzzle. Not too difficult. Some color variations in the puzzle. And Gina said ceramics. So very interesting other hobbies. I hope you enjoyed this little Q&A. I thought it was really fun to see some of what your answers were. I think I just, out of the corner of my eye, Terry mentioned, you mean with olive, Sarah. Did I say violet? Because did I say violet when I was talking about olive? Sometimes I do this pretty often. I call my horse by my daughter's name and vice versa. So if I just did that a few minutes ago.
You never called violet olive. But I also call olive violet sometimes.
I'm pretty sure I have called her olive. I don't know why I get it mixed up. They're obviously, a horse and a child is two different things, but yeah, it was a high possibility for me. Danny's favorite part of the show, well, second favorite part of the show when he's on it. We'd like to invite all the bag makers to stand proud. Let us know in the comments that you're part of the Sew Sweetness squad. Danny and I are both super grateful that you've tuned into the show. Thank you so very much for watching. All right, at the beginning of December, I asked for some of your holiday-related makes, tree skirts, ornaments, stockings, things of the sort, and you sent in some wonderful pictures, so Danny prepared a slideshow of some of your pictures earlier today, and it was really fun to see not only the finishes, but how things were displayed. Like, I really love what Laura did here with the display with the Christmas trinkets and the stockings. A few tree skirts. This one was made by Mia. Really love the, I don't know if it's a poinsettia type of fabric, but I kind of got that vibe from looking at it. Donnie made this really fun sewing themed wreath, and she said she always adds a little bit to it. I think that's super clever. These ornaments were made by Katie, and I actually have one of these on my tree, and I would really love to make one of my own, and that picture kind of inspired me to maybe do something like that this year. A stocking from Diana with some pretty applique pieces on there. Janet has these vintage ornaments that she made. I really love these. These are really cute, and I like the little sequins and the little bling on them. Wanda made this tree skirt for a friend of hers that really loves beaches, and so she's beach themed fabric, and also the quilting kind of mimics waves. Rita made this tree skirt. I really love the design of this, the star, and it just looks really fantastic, this particular pattern for that. Boreana says she always makes these covered hat boxes to display for the holidays, that little snowman over there next to the tree. Catherine has a tree skirt using holiday-themed animals from where she lives. Betty has a few cross-stitch stockings. A Christmas-themed quilt. I really actually like the edges of this quilt because it's something a little bit different than a square and a rectangle. Thought this was fantastic. And then Heather has some wool stockings, stockings to display by the Christmas tree. So thanks everyone so much for sending in your holiday-themed photos. And again, we'll be on break from Sewcial Sunday, but we'll be back again on January 7th, so we'll see you then. I know we had our own Q&A earlier, but if you have any questions for me that you would like to me to answer live, please do type those in the comments right now. They can be either a general sewing question about a notion or tool, or if you have a specific bag making question, go ahead and type those in the comments, and Danny will be collecting some of your questions, and I'll answer as many as I can live. And since we'll be on break for a couple weeks, the giveaway for tonight, and I apologize to those who watch the recording of the show, but tonight's giveaway will be live viewers. So I have 3 prizes to give away, so stay tuned for that after the Q&A portion of the show.
What's the giveaway items?
The giveaway items are 3 different pairs of LDH scissors. So I guess I'll pop these open really quick. So I have 3 different types of scissors. So I have 8-inch snips. These have sort of a rubber grip. I've got some lightweight pinking shears, which I always forget when I'm kind of notching a curved edge to use my pinking shears, but these would be fantastic for that. And then I have 1 more pairs of snips. These are, the first pair were 8-inch, and these are actually 9-inch. They have a midnight edition all black scissor for this one. So these will be the prizes for the end of the show.
I love their packaging.
Yeah, me too. I just, boxes that could be reused for other items, or maybe just to store your scissors to keep them dust free. Jen wanted to know, will you continue to ship orders over your break? Yes, we actually will be. That's a great question, Jen. We will still be shipping. The break is only for the Sewcial Sunday shows, just because they fall on both Sundays' holidays. Brenda says, sorry if I missed it. Did you sew anything for Christmas this year? I didn't sew anything, but I finished. I actually forgot to bring the 2nd and 3rd ornaments, but you might have seen the first one, the first cross stitch that I finished a few weeks ago, and I actually finished a 2nd one with a little puppy coming out of a package, and then I finished a 3rd one, which was a kitten in a mitten. So maybe I'll show those on when we come back from our break, but I've just been having fun sewing up these little ornaments. I bought a little birch tree to display on our kitchen table so I could hang. I was thinking I could hang my little cross-stitch ornaments on the little birch tree. Laura says, would canvas work for the exterior of the opossum bag? So for this particular bag, I do recall one of my testers made one in denim, and she said she had a slight bit of hard time because the denim was thicker, and the opossum bag has sort of diagonal pockets that are coming across, so it kind of contributes a bit to the layers. So I would say if you do decide to use the canvas fabric, make sure your machine can handle a lot of layers for that particular bag. Kathy says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult is the Marlin backpack to make? That is a tough one. If you've made the Marlin backpack before, let let me know in the comments, a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest, what you thought if you made the Marlin backpack. What would be your rating as far as difficulty? I would say, if I'm thinking of some of my other patterns, Marlin backpack, I might put that at a, oh, that's a good one. Maybe 6 as far as difficulty, but maybe some of your opinions might be a little bit different than mine. Carrie says, do you prefer the LDH brand to Kai scissors? I think they're just different. I personally love their pinking shears. I think they're super smooth and I like using them. Maybe I just have a problem of having too many scissors in my sewing room, but as far as my scissors for cutting out fabric, I super love my Kai scissors, and these are model number 7205 in the Kai scissors. Oh, Erica wanted to know, what is your favorite Christmas story, Sarah and Danny, your favorite Christmas movie? That's a good question. I would say from childhood, my favorite Christmas type of movie is Home Alone. I remember we got the VHS tape when I was a kid, and I kid you not, we would watch that tape like every day over holiday breaks. So I would have to say Home Alone is my favorite. What about yours?
I like Home Alone a lot too. Very similar. I saw it at the movie theater when it came out. It was super awesome. I also like Die Hard. It's another great Christmas movie.
I haven't seen that. That's a
You
Christmas
never
movie?
seen Die Hard?
Interesting. No, I haven't.
Oh. With Bruce Willis?
It's a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not Christmas themed. I think it came out Christmas, like a Christmas.
They
time
reference Christmas time during the movie?
It's known as a Christmas movie for sure.
Interesting.
Let me just
Very
look it up.
interesting.
I'll put a thing and I'll look it up real quick.
I believe you. I believe you. Lauren says, which of your patterns is the quickest make for a makeup type bag? That is a good question. I would say, if we're thinking of makeup bag as any type of pouch that could possibly hold makeup, maybe the Windsor pouch, because it's a box style pouch and super fast to make. It's sort of about this long approximately, and I think would be good for makeup, brushes, that type of thing. If you're looking for not necessarily a quick make, from Minikin Season 2, there's the Kanga Supply Roll, which is what I personally use for my makeup. But I would have to hazard a guess that Windsor pouch would be the fastest as far as holding makeup.
The Muppet Christmas Carol, I sort of want to see that.
Muppet Christmas Carol? Interesting.
Yeah. Die Hard takes place on Christmas. Maybe that's why it's considered a Christmas movie.
Oh, okay. Winless Original says, just made my first hobo bag. Great pattern.
Congratulations.
I'm glad you enjoyed the pattern. I haven't made that one in a while, but I do really like that style, the hobo bag style, with just the snap as the closure. Gina says, Danny, I know I've been missing in action, but your new camera makes it fuzzy behind you. Anything new on the shelf?
My friends had a online gift exchange, and I got 3 new things for the shelf. I was super happy with my gift exchange. So thank you to Chris. It was awesome presents.
Angela says, what rock have you been under, Sarah?
At first I took it like, what are you talking about? It's because the Die Hard movie, not seeing it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know why I never saw that movie. I don't know. Do you remember how old were you when it came?
I was a kid. I didn't see it in the movie theater. I saw it on TV. So I think it said 1988 when it came out. So I probably saw it when I was like 10. Maybe 1990 or something like that.
Interesting. Carla says, any new patterns coming out in 2023? Yes, I'm a bit frustrated with myself over how long this is taking, but I am working on some new stuff. And
I wish I could turn the camera on to show you in front of us. There's like so many pattern pieces sprawled out on the table in front of us.
Yeah, and they're not even from a single pattern. They're from, I'd probably say 3 or 4 patterns, like all over the table. I don't normally like to work in that type of manner, like having multiple things going at the same time, but for some reason, that's where we're at right now. Jean says, is the glue and tortoise bag similar? What's the difference? I'm I'm trying to think. I think glue might be a typo, but I'm not sure what the pattern is. Let me know in the comments.
I can't think of another bag you have that's like the tortoise bag, to be honest. It's a very unique shape. We'll see. I'll be watching the comments.
Thank you very much, Pat. Pat's
very
suggesting a
much.
thumbs up. Thank you. Sorry, I'm still a little bit stuffy, and for some reason I just can't kick this last bit of stuffiness to the curb.
I like The Grinch as a Christmas movie too.
Oh, me too.
I like the older one the best.
Yeah, me too.
Stace says, Danny, that's a debate in our house. Bruce Willis said a few years ago that it wasn't a Christmas movie. That was at a roast, so who knows? I don't think it's up to him to decide if it's a Christmas movie anyways. He was just an actor in the movie. But I've heard multiple people get in the debate over it.
There was that movie that we watched, maybe it was last year, about the kid. It's a recent movie. The kid that wanted a Nintendo for Christmas.
Oh, yes. And the family goes around trying to get it.
Right. Do you remember what that was called?
I don't remember the name of it.
Nancy says, do you have a Christmas tradition that is unusual? The men in my family, boyfriends, sons, and son-in-law make breakfast Christmas morning. I have to only make a monkey bread. I really love that tradition.
Sarah used to make apple pancakes.
Oh, I do love apple pancakes, but they have a lot of sugar in them, so some years they stick to the pan really badly. So sometimes they can be frustrating, those apple pancakes.
I love them. I haven't. Now that you mentioned that, I'm gonna try to go in the store and go buy some apples. I'll make it myself.
We have a ton of apples. You don't have to buy any.
As long as they're tasty.
Gina says Zeppelin is a good makeup for toiletries. Yes, thank you for that suggestion, Gina. That is definitely a great idea for cosmetics or a toiletry bag. Jamie says White Christmas is my favorite Christmas movie. I don't think I've seen that one either. I don't know. I guess I have to get on the ball with the Christmas viewing here.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard of White Christmas, but I don't remember.
Rob said, I just made a tortoise bag for the first time, and it's great. I'd love more bags shaped like it.
I do like the bag shape as well, Rob, on that, to be honest.
I don't know if it would be considered like a bowling style bag. I think it's a little bit different, but haven't made that one in a while.
Have you seen this movie? Love Actually?
Linda says, Love Actually is my best Christmas movie ever. Actually, I watched it last week for the first time, so it definitely is a Christmas movie. I'm trying to think what else. Carrie says, last show of the year, and we'll miss you like crazy, but cut the night short and curl up to watch a movie.
Yeah, we'll probably watch a TV show tonight. We are really into the Rookie TV show, and they had like one episode a couple weeks ago, and then it's been like on a winter break, and we miss it. We usually watch it Sunday night after the show. Yeah, but I think his Dark Materials, what is the name of that?
His Dark Materials?
Yeah, I think it came out new episodes, and we started watching that last year. So Violet said they already had 4 episodes out, so I think after the show we'll be watching that. 8-Bit Christmas, someone said, and that is
8-Bit Christmas. That was the Nintendo
right.
one. Yeah.
Normal.
Thank you.
Good call on that one.
I really liked it because it has kids stuff in it, but it also has like emotional, like family memory type stuff in that particular movie. Pat says use Pam spray to keep apple pancakes from sticking. Maybe that's my problem.
I don't have Pam, but I do have the aerosol olive oil and
Coconut.
Is it coconut or avocado oil? I don't know which one. I have a couple different ones. I do like that personally, the aerosols, because you use a lot less oil when cooking. To me, I like it.
Oh, Elf is a good movie too.
Elf. Violet and I just watched that a week ago.
Yeah.
White Christmas Made Free. It's a wonderful movie and a musical. Violet would probably like to see that. She loves musicals.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, Bing Crosby. I would totally like to watch that. I love Bing Crosby.
Angela wanted to know, what bag would you recommend for a guy lunch bag?
A tortoise bag.
I
No,
actually have seen people make the tortoise bag for a lunch bag. We do have the morsel lunch bag from Minikin Season 1. I'm trying to think what else. I've seen so many people modify other patterns to make them into lunch bags. The morsel is the one that's popping into my head first, though. Karen says the best bag I made for me would be the chickadee backpack for my daughter-in-law, who used it as a diaper bag. She also let me know that everywhere she went, people asked her where she bought the bag. So nice to hear that she was proud to say her mother-in-law made it for her and people were shocked. So proud to hear that. Thanks to Sarah and your wonderful, wonderful videos and patterns. Thank you so much for sharing that, Karen. I really love hearing that when the bag is out and about in public, it either gets compliments or people ask where she bought it. So that's fabulous. I love that. Thanks so much for sharing that.
That's awesome. So a lot of people like The Rookie as well. Anything with Nathan Fillion. Yeah, Sarah actually got onto with Castle with him, and she watched all of them.
Violet loves Castle.
And then Sarah got Violet on Castle and then bought every season on Amazon. I'm like, why is my credit card being charged all this stuff? And I'm looking, it's like all these seasons of Castle being bought. I'm like, what the heck?
It's a good show.
The Holidays from 2006.
Terry says The Holiday. Oh, yes. I've seen that recently, too. Sappy, but I love it, she says. Soapman Girl says Miracle on 34th Street, the one with Jimmy Stewart. Clarence got his wings. I actually did see that one. Did you see that one?
Yes, I have seen it.
Maribel says, Sarah, my grandson decided to ride on one of my new vinyl bags with a pen. Write on one of my new vinyl bags with a pen? Oh, no. How can I remove the ink from it?
My brother had something like this in grade school, and he had it on his jacket. And at that time, starter jackets were really popular. And some kid took a pen on the back of his starter jacket and wrote like a line or something. And I remember my mom using like hairspray or something, to be honest, to take it out. Don't look it up online. Don't say, hey, Danny said use hairspray. Then that's not what I'm saying. But I know she used hairspray or like rubbing alcohol or something. I can't remember. I think it was hairspray, to be honest.
Let us know in the comments if you know, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure. We'll try to put a few up on the screen, but obviously if you have a scrap of that particular vinyl, test it on that first. Mm-hmm. Were there any other?
That's the first one I saw.
Rubbing alcohol.
Lawson Pets get gifts this year?
Mikey, we have a lot of toys that we bought for Mikey for Christmas. Olive, my horse, she will just be happy with carrots and apples and peppermints. Laura says try hairspray or Goo Gone.
Firefly was Nathan Fillion's, I think, first. One of the ones he started in.
TV show?
Yeah, Val and I started watching. I don't know what happened while we stopped watching.
Let's see. The very thing that makes Die Hard a Christmas movie is the fact that holiday parties for some spouses are dreaded. His was disastrous. Oh, was that a holiday party in the movie?
So, I don't remember the exact, if it was a holiday party, but it was like terrorists come and take over. So I think it was at the holiday party.
Oh,
possibly.
okay.
And he's got to like rescue the day.
Okay.
Alcohol, people are saying Goo Gone. Karen says she's heard about hairspray.
Okay. Maribel, if you do try...
Yeah, multiple people said hairspray, so I think it was a hairspray.
Let us know in the Facebook group what worked or what you decided to do.
Maybe the alcohol in the hairspray is what did it. The ink comes out with alcohol. Always do it on test area. Like, you don't want to ruin something, make it worse.
Yeah, especially as bag makers, there's always a possibility to have some scraps of the same fabric. So it would be a great idea to take the marker, the pen, and test it on a scrap of fabric first, and then try whatever you're going to try, the hairspray or the Goo Gone. Another Christmas movie recommendation, Four Christmases and Christmas with the Cranks, since you like Home Alone. Gail said the magic eraser might work for the marks on the vinyl. Gina says Lysol spray removes ink. Spray, then dab. That's a good one. I hadn't heard that one before. Sylvia says Fell's Napa soap for the marks on the vinyl. And Angela says toothpaste. That's a good one, too. I hadn't heard about that. Jenny says, I made a chickadee backpack for my son's girlfriend, and they ask where she got it, and she always says it's her boyfriend's mom made it for her. Love it. That's fantastic. Liz says, I like the 1994 movie The Rough. Very funny.
You know what that one is? What is his name? He was in that movie, Princess Bride, with, he's a funny guy from New York, Billy Crystal.
No, I haven't seen that. Yeah. I haven't seen that.
Gojo is a hand cleaner for automotive stuff. I remember I worked at an auto parts store and we sold it, and that stuff works so well. It has pumice, and at least when we sold that pumice, it's like a little piece of rocks in there. So be careful if you're doing that, if it causes like abrasion.
What is it originally intended for, Gojo?
It removes oil and grease.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That would be why it would be in an auto parts store.
Yeah, it's really good for cleaning your hands.
All right. I think.
Yeah, just all comments on there. I think it's pretty much
Oh,
it.
yes. We actually saw this on the website. Ammodex ink and stain remover.
I've never seen that. Do we really saw that?
We do. I don't think we sell it very often, but we have it on there just in case.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, my head is so stuffy.
It's time for the giveaway. So you look almost as tall. My chair is so low. You go forward, I go back. So we go in and out of focus.
All right. So now getting over to the live giveaway, let me put these scissors in the proper order. So how this works is Danny's computer has all the comments from YouTube and Facebook, and he's just going to read me. The comments are on pages of 20, so I'm just going to call out some random numbers, and those will be the winners. Simone also mentioned I've used the toothpaste. It did work. Awesome. So sounds like a lot of options for the handwriting on the vinyl. So these will be randomly drawn winners, and we'll just post the winner's comment up on the screen. And if you happen to be the winner, please email me after the show. My email is sarah@sewsweetness.com. Danny's going to put a graphic with my email up there in case you are the winner. Or if you ever have any questions or need help with anything, you can always email me at that email address as well. So, all right, so the first scissors will be the 8-inch LDH scissors. And what numbers am I picking from, Danny?
1 through 116.
Let's go with 56. And then number 3.
Kathy Clower.
The winner is Kathy. Congratulations to Kathy. Again,
Congratulations.
please email me after the show. The second...
Now it's 1 through 117.
Okay. The second pair of scissors are the lightweight pinking shears from LDH Scissors. And number will be 23.
All right. 23.
And then number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ann Little. Cute ornaments.
Ann Little, congratulations to Ann. Ann won the pinking shears. And then the third pair of scissors are the 9-inch Midnight Edition LDH Snips scissors.
Now
Sorry,
1 through
not
118.
Snips. 44.
All right. 44.
And then number 1.
Rhonda Thiessen.
Congratulations, Rhonda. Rhonda won the 9-inch scissors. Write her name down. All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us for Sewcial Sunday. I hope you have a great holiday, and we will see
Sarah's
you
email
back.
once again if you did win.
Yep. And we will see you back for Sewcial Sunday on January 7th. We will still be shipping orders throughout that time. It's just a break from the 2 live shows. Again, I hope you have a wonderful holiday and Happy New Year.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody.